Are you looking for the best mirrorless camera under $600? In this video we will look at some of the 4 best camera on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Canon EOS M50. In recent months, the Canon M system cameras have been shunted aside to make room for Canon's full-frame EOS R lineup. But that doesn't mean that the M system cameras are worthless, as the EOS M50 proves. Now, the Canon EOS M50 is hardly a standout in any one area. But taken together, all the EOS M50 features make for one deeply impressive option, especially for photographers who have already invested in Canon lens lineups. What does the Canon EOS M50 include? A nice APS-C, 24.1 MP sensor, one offering solid high ISO capabilities. This is perfect for photographers who like to handhold in low light, or who like to handhold, period, because higher ISOs are often the difference between a sharp shot and a blurry one. The EOS M50 also features a very smooth AF system, with 143 points and packing Canon's dual-pixel AF. While the M50 may not be able to rival its EOS R and EOS RP siblings, the AF system punches above its weight, performing well with both still and moving subjects. One of the great things about the EOS M50 is its size. It's small enough to slip into a backpack, a pocket, or a purse. Yet Canon still managed to tack an EVF onto the top of the camera body, a feature that many DSLR-turned-mirrorless photographers just can't live without. Oh, and if you already own Canon DSLR lenses, you can still use them on your EOS M50 with the purchase of a special adapter. Cool, right? This little camera packs a lot of power, especially with such a low price tag. And if you're already a Canon shooter, then purchasing the M50 is a no-brainer. At number 2. Olympus OMD EM10 Mark II. The Olympus OMD EM10 Mark II is the first micro Four Thirds camera on this list, featuring a 16 MP sensor that's smaller than its APS-C peers. In practical terms, this means that the OMD EM10 II struggles slightly more than cameras like the Fujifilm X-T100 at higher ISOs, though noise performance is hardly bad, and certainly not a deal-breaker. It also means that you'll struggle to print at very large sizes, because 16 MP keeps image resolution down to 2 small files. Note that the micro Four Thirds sensor does have a major benefit. It allows Olympus to shave weight off the body, making for a more travel-ready camera. And here's some additional good news: pretty much everything else about the OMD EM10 II will impress photographers looking for a nice entry-level mirrorless option. The autofocus, while not lightning fast when tracking subjects, is generally snappy. And the OMD EM10 II does offer an electronic viewfinder, one that's decently high resolution. Given the price point, it offers a 2.36 million dot display. Oh, and I didn't even mention the best part of the EM10 II. In-body image stabilization, also known as IBIS. The camera offers 5-axis image stabilization, so that you can shoot handheld at low shutter speeds without sacrificing sharpness. Which, for every photographer out there, is a much-wanted benefit. At number 3. Sony Alpha A6000. The Sony Alpha A6000 came out way back in 2014, but it's managed to stay relevant after 6 years of technological advancement, a truly impressive feat. At the time of its release, the A6000 excelled in terms of its autofocus capabilities, and it still performs well in that area, a half-decade later. The 179 phase detect AF points allow the A6000 to focus with speed, and Sony's face tracking algorithms will easily enhance any fast-paced. The A6000 is one of Sony's ultra-popular consumer models, packing just over 24 megapixels into an APS-C sensor. And while high ISO performance feels slightly dated, the A6000 certainly keeps noise levels competitive with entry-level cameras at the same price point. Where the A6000 really shows its age is in terms of the electronic viewfinder. I could never see myself using a mirrorless camera without an EVF, but the A6000 viewfinder just barely manages to produce usable results. The 1.44 million dot OLED just doesn't look good, no matter how you try to spin it. On the other hand, for those who don't care so much about an EVF, or are sufficiently satisfied with the other features, the A6000 is a great camera to check out. At number 4. Panasonic Lumix GX85. The Panasonic Lumix GX85, also known as the GX80, has a lot going for it in terms of size, autofocus, and image stabilization, even if it does struggle with image quality at high ISOs, as well as a subpar electronic viewfinder. Let's take a closer look at some of these features. First, the autofocus on the GX85 is impressive, offering speedy focusing, even with its meager 49 AF points. When coupled with the GX85's 8 frames per second continuous shooting, you'll be able to get stunning action photos, consistently. And if you're the type of photographer who does frequent handholding, then you'll appreciate the light GX85 body, as well as the 5-axis image stabilization, which is carefully designed to work with image-stabilized lenses. Picture from Amazon.com. A bonus is the GX85's video specs. Panasonic cameras are known for their video capabilities, and the GX85 doesn't disappoint. The camera offers 4K video at 30p, this pairs well with the in-body image stabilization, something that videographers, as well as still photographers, will appreciate. The most frustrating aspect of the GX85 is its sensor. With just 16 megapixels, it's on the lower end of the resolution spectrum. And the micro 4/3 sensor size makes for poor image quality at high ISOs, losing out even to the fairly unimpressive OMD EM10 II discussed above. Plus, the electronic viewfinder could use some work. While the viewfinder's resolution comes in at nearly 3 million dots, the display itself is very clearly dated, certainly not up to today's standards. Ultimately, the GX85 is a decent choice, especially if you prize in-body image stabilization or autofocus speeds. But the EVF is something to watch out for, as is the high ISO noise.